Hey everyone, today's video is going to be all about how to simplify your life and declutter your mind. I've done so many videos on my channel where I've decluttered my space around me, but I haven't really focused too much on your mindset and how to declutter up here, but I think that is a really important thing to do. And today we're just exposed to so many different things, we're tempted by so many things around us, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. So sometimes I think it's great to take a step back, slow down, and just simplify things, break things down into steps, and just make things easier for yourself. So we're basically just going to be talking about how to do a lifestyle declutter. I've been really into exploring minimalism lately, and I think it's just such a great thing to adapt into your lifestyle. So I'm going to be talking all about how to live a simpler life and declutter your mind and sharing my tips. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get into the first tip. Create a morning routine. This is something that can help you so much with simplifying your life because you know exactly what you've got to do each day. You don't have to spend time thinking, oh, what should I be doing? Because you know you've got your routine set in stone, and then you have really healthy habits to fall back on, and it becomes just something that you know you have to do to set up your day. So I think morning routines are so important. My go-to morning routine lately has been to hop out of bed at 5 a.m. and I'll go downstairs, make myself a coffee, come upstairs, back to bed, and I'll watch the sunrise from my bed, which is nice. And then I'll do some journaling. So I'll write down how I'm feeling, my gratitude list, my affirmations, and I'll also write down my to-do list for the day. I find if I don't plan my day in advance or write a to-do list, things definitely don't go to plan because I spend a bit of time questioning what I should do next and thinking, oh, should I be doing this instead of that? But if I've got it written down and I've set some intentional time to plan my day, then those things don't happen. And speaking of intention, that is something that can really help you as well with planning your day. So for example, my intention today was to film this video. That is my main priority, and obviously I've got other goals and priorities, but this is the main thing that I need to get done. Once I've finished my journaling and my planning, I'll grab out my laptop and I'll do my emails at this time. I find doing my emails first thing in the morning is a really good thing. They do say eat the frog, is that the saying? It's like get the hardest thing done at the start of the day. Even though this definitely isn't the hardest thing that I have to do, it is something that is quite time consuming and I don't always make time to do. So I find if I do that thing that I don't really want to do at the start of the day, it's so much better because then it's out of the way. So that really helps with simplifying things, and then yeah, it's out of my mind for the rest of the day. At this point, it's about 7 a.m. and I'll start getting ready for the gym. One thing that really helps simplify things is packing my bag the night before and laying out my activewear or my outfit the night before, because I don't know about you guys, but there's been so many times when I haven't done this and then I'll realize that I have no clean activewear because I haven't washed it, and then I'll panic and be like, oh no, what am I gonna wear? I'm gonna be late for the gym. So in my gym bag, I'll pack my towel, my wallet, and my water bottle, which brings me on to my next tip, and that is to always carry a water bottle with you because you never know when you're not going to be able to get water. I just think it is something that is so helpful, and I hate when you're out and about and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty, and you don't want to buy a drink bottle because it's bad for the environment, and then you just don't know what to do. So I think carrying a water bottle is a must. It's good for your mind, it's good for your overall health, and it's good for your stress levels. Another thing that you can do the night before that will make things so much easier for you the next day is to meal prep or just plan your meals and know what you're going to eat. That way also you don't eat too impulsively just because you're hungry and you're just going to eat on the spot, and then you can make sure you're eating something healthy and nutritious. I feel like I eat quite a basic diet, and when I like something, I'll eat that same thing all the time for quite a while. So for example, I know for breakfast I always like to eat an omelette. So I don't really overcomplicate things, and I just make sure I have those ingredients in the house, and then I'm happy. Obviously, I think it's great to eat intuitively and eat what feels right for your body at that point in time. But I personally kind of like to stick to the same meals just so I don't overcomplicate things. I'll just slightly change them depending on what we've got in the house. Speaking of intuition, I think this can really be helpful when trying to simplify things because your intuition tells you more than you know. So I think it's important to listen to your body body and just see how it's feeling. So if you really need to rest, then rest, allow yourself to do that. Or if you feel like you need to move your body, then move your body. I think learning to be intuitive is something that can be so useful and so powerful and can really help you make decisions and not get too overwhelmed by all of the different choices out there, because you trust your intuition and you know how to act upon it. And if your body is telling you that you need to rest and you need to take some time for self-care, I think it's really important to schedule that in and allow yourself to do it guilt-free. So often we can feel really guilty for doing nothing when we really shouldn't, because we do need that time to recover. So I think that can really help simplify things if you've just scheduled in that time for self-care, because then you know that you're actually allowed it, you've given yourself permission, and you don't feel stressed about it, because there's nothing worse than when you're meant to be relaxing and doing self-care and then at the back of your mind you're thinking, oh no, I should be doing this and I should be doing that, and you feel like guilty for taking time to rest, because then you're not actually resting because you're feeling guilty. So I think if you actually schedule in that time, it can make things so much simpler. If you guys are enjoying today's video and you enjoy learning about topics like this, then you need to go and check out Skillshare. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you guys haven't heard of Skillshare, they're an online learning community with thousands of classes to choose from for you to explore your creativity and passions. Skillshare offers a range of really inspiring classes on so many topics such as graphic design, illustration, productivity, film and video, marketing, entrepreneurship. They also have classes on minimalism and how to live a simple life. So if you like this sort of video, then you will definitely find something on there. I personally really enjoy doing the graphic design classes. They've really helped me with my thumbnails and also some other projects that I'm working on. But one of my favorite classes that I've done is by Thomas Frank, and he did a masterclass on productivity, and it's called Create a Custom System That Works, and he talks all about task management and staying organized, and overall it's very motivating. So if you guys want to go and check out Skillshare, I'll have a link in my description, and for the first 1,000 people who go and click on the link and sign up, you will get a 2-month free premium membership. So head on over to the link and sign up and explore your creativity. Another thing that we need to do more often is say no when we don't want to do something. You don't have to be a people pleaser and do something just to impress other people and because you feel bad. You sometimes need to just put yourself first and know that it is okay to say no. Give yourself permission. It will make things so much less complicated if you know that you're allowed to say that word. I feel like I need to tell myself this sometimes because I know that I feel bad when I say no, but you know, you're living your own life and you're allowed to make your own decisions and you're allowed to say no. At the end of the day, I think you've just got to think about what really matters and just put things in perspective and think, if I don't go to this thing, is it really going to be the end of the world? Is it really going to make that person upset? And just weigh up the pros and the cons. I think what really matters is looking after yourself at the end of the day. So I think you have to simplify things and just do what's best for you. Now moving on to talking about decluttering the actual things around you and your technology. I think this is something that can make things so much simpler in your life and also can really declutter your mind, because we do spend so much time on our phones and on technology these days that I think it's really important to keep those spaces clean and decluttered as well. I definitely need to do this myself, and I find that when it's not organized, I get very stressed out. I actually saw someone say one time that she does 15 minutes of decluttering each day just to make things a lot more manageable, and I think that's a really good idea, because just imagine if you did 15 minutes a day, how much stuff you would manage to get rid of. So start off with your clothes, move on to your makeup, move on to your makeup brushes, your skincare and things like that, and soon enough you will have decluttered a lot. Now for your technology, I think it's really important to go through who you're following on social media every so often and just think if they're actually providing you value, if you enjoy following them and if they make you feel good, and if not, either unfollow them, or if you don't want to unfollow someone because you think it will make things too awkward, then you can actually mute people. So there's a really good feature that I use a lot on Instagram where you can mute people, and I think you have the option to either just mute their stories or just mute their posts, or you can mute both of them. So you still follow them, but it's basically like you don't see any of their stuff, and that can really help and it can really simplify your newsfeed. And I'm sure you can do this with a bunch of other social media platforms, but I know you can do it for Instagram because I personally done it. Another thing that you can do is go through all of your apps and delete the ones that you don't use. I'm surprised how many apps I have on my phone sometimes that I don't use. And with the new iOS 14 update, you might as well make the most of it and take the opportunity to do a declutter of your apps and just organize it. Another thing to organize on your phone, which I'm personally really bad at doing, is your photos. I think it's so important to go through your photos every so often and delete all the duplicates, because if you're like me and you're taking an Instagram photo, sometimes you'll take 100 of the same one. I mean, I don't know if everyone's guilty of that. I know I am. And then I sometimes forget to delete all the other ones. So I think it's good to go through your photos sometimes and just delete them and also back them up. I use Google Photos to back up my photos, and that just really helps me because then I know that they're in a secure place and I can delete them from my Photos app on my iPhone. Now for your laptop, I know some of you guys probably have a very cluttered desktop on your computer like me, and I think this can get very stressful sometimes, especially when you run out of storage space and then you have to do a big cull and it's just very stressful. So the way to avoid that is literally just to put things in folders and delete things once you don't need them anymore. That's the only way around it, but for some reason it seems difficult for me. Another thing that I often avoid doing is deleting my emails after I don't need them anymore, but I've got into a good habit of doing it now. But unfortunately I didn't have that habit 5 years ago, so I've still got emails in my inbox from 5 years ago that I have to delete. So I need to spend some time going through and getting rid of them. While you're checking out your emails, it's probably a good idea to check out who you're actually subscribed to and maybe unsubscribe from some of those newsletters that you signed up to in the shop when you didn't really want to sign up to them, but you just felt pressured. Anyone else? I definitely do that. And yeah, just unsubscribe from anything that you don't need to see. And my final tip to simplify your life and just make things a whole lot easier is to set yourself a budget, one, and also to automate your bank account. This is something that I did after reading The Barefoot Investor. It really, really helped me. So in that book, they teach you to open up multiple different bank accounts for different things. So I've got an account for my leisure, for, you know, my food, my shopping and things like that. Then I've got a bank account for my expenses, so that pays for things like my health insurance, my petrol, my board and things like that. Then I have a short-term savings account and I save up for things like holidays or even my tax bill at the end of the year and things like that. Like that's where that money goes. And then finally I have my savings. And so I automate for money to go into each of these accounts every single week from my savings, because I don't get like a specific salary. So I find it's a good way to do it. So for example, I transfer $100 every single week into my leisure account, 200 into expenses and 200 into my short-term savings account. And this really holds me accountable and helps me keep a budget and realize where my money's actually going and how much I'm spending. And sometimes I realize I'm spending too much, and then sometimes I'm like, actually, I'm on top of things. But this just really helps me because that means I don't have to worry about transferring money, because I know that I've got money in there because I've automated it, and not overstress that I'm spending too much money because I know that I've set a budget for myself. But they are all of my tips for simplifying your life and decluttering your mind. I hope this was helpful and maybe inspired you guys to go and do these things as well. I think there is so much value in living a simpler life and not overcomplicating things. And sometimes it just takes a video like this or someone to remind you to just do that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to go and check out Skillshare and make the most of the 2-month free trial. It's honestly amazing. But that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!